What's going on, Jeromes? So opinions are like buttholes in that everyone has one and they all stink, and some are bleached. But I don't understand how someone could objectively, not even just like me, purple Kool-Aid, purple glasses and everything, but just objectively look at the Vikings offseason and not be like, that's pretty good. That is a building for the future. That is a beautiful foundation season. That is a beautiful, hey, setting things up and the future is so bright you got to wear shades. Like Kwesi, I mean, Kwesi's been much maligned and open to criticism for the last couple of years, rightfully so. But Kwesi did some fantastic work this offseason, man. Like even the most dogged Kwesi haters, Vikings, self-hating fans, self-loathing fans, I have to admit that Kwesi did good this offseason. And yeah, tough decision letting go of Kurt and Daniil. Oh, but he could have traded him. Who's trading? Like who's giving up picks to pick up those contracts? But here's the thing too. Like if the Vikings would have re-signed Kurt and Daniil, they would have gotten criticism for that. But it's either way. And I mean, Kurt was fine for 6 years. I love Daniil Hunter forever. He'll always be one of my guys. But I mean, the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze at this point with either one of them. And in free agency, so the Vikings, they had, even though they are taking on the chin cap-wise in terms of void year cap hits for Davenport and Kurt and Daniil, they're able to be players in free agency, bring in Aaron Jones, replacing Alexander Madison, also Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, helping replace Daniil, and DJ Wanham and Marcus Davenport, and Blake Cashman outside, how about that, replacing Jordan Hicks. So it was a great one-for-one swap. Also, looking towards the future, being able to make a number of moves and secure your quarterback of the future in J.J. McCarthy, as well as a true talisman on the edge in Dallas Turner, really solidifying that transition from Daniil Hunter to, again, I love Daniil, but give me 21-year-old Dallas Turner as well as Jonathan Grenard on a reasonable free agent deal, and also Andrew Van Ginkel back reunited with Flores any day. Any day, man. That's right. And also, sort of under the radar, I mean, retaining Blake Brandel and bringing back Reisner, where you actually have interior offensive line competition for the first time in forever. Right? And also, the coup de grace, extending Justin Jefferson long-term on a, even though, yes, highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history in terms of average and total guarantee, but if you look at the structure and the cash flow and the cap hits, it's actually very team-friendly. And Jefferson's happy, the Vikings are happy, and the largest drama of the offseason, it's solved. And again, I don't know how you look at the Vikings free agency or Vikings offseason writ large and say that it was bad. Like, I just don't understand it. And, beyond Turner and McCarthy, the rest of the draft class looks really damn good, especially Will Rackard crushing things at OTAs. Hopefully they'll solve the Vikings kicking issues. And I love some of the other draft picks. They're going to have they're going to have their opportunities to create their own niche on this team. Plus, I love the UDFAs too. Let's go, man. But of course, people got to hate, right? And we love pointing it out because it's just so blatantly obvious. Just the bias that's always shown against the Vikings. The thumb is just always down on the scale. But Seth Walder, ESPN analyst, comes from analytics background. So we talked about him a couple times where he's just absolutely just railing against the Vikings, notably for, well, we'll get into it. But over at ESPN, 2024 NFL offseason grading moves changes for all 32 teams. The Vikings checked in at a C-, which was fourth worst in the National Football League. Only the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Saints had a worse offseason, which, fantastic. So the biggest move was drafting J.J. McCarthy. Move I liked, signing Jonathan Grenard. Move I disliked, trading up twice for Dallas Turner. The Vikings set a new course. They opted to let quarterback Kirk Cousins walk. A reasonable choice given his age and Achilles injury. Oh, thank you. Glad you approve. And thrust himself into the open waters of the quarterback market. They signed Slingin' Sam Darnold. Oh, we didn't even talk about Sam Darnold. I mean, that was a good move, too. I mean, because there was demand for Darnold. Like, the Niners wanted him back as a backup. The Broncos wanted him. Some other teams wanted him, too. Who made sense as a useful stopgap, but nothing more. But their eyes were set on the rookies. At first blush, the teams moved to surrender. Oh, Riri. Oh, it can't just be like, oh, trade. Oh, it's surrender. But hey, if it was the Ravens or Howie Roseman, the Eagles, or the Packers, or whoever, if someone else, or the Rams, if they made this trade, it's like, oh, master stroke, a masterful move. No, they did it so good, as opposed to surrender. Please. Or hell, even like the Bears. If Ryan Poles made this trade, it'd be like, this is a beautiful trade. Chase Claypool is going to work out this time, please. Second round pick to move up from 42 to 23 seemed odd when Minnesota gave up worth more than it got back. Because the chart says this. As opposed to, hey, the Vikings were giving themselves flexibility. Like, hey, if we want to trade up to the top 3, we can certainly do that. Or if we're sticking and picking relatively at 11 and 23, we're going to be good to go there. Like, I feel like some of the analysts get bogged down in this is what the chart says, so anything that deviates from it must be wrong. Like, there's no real-world context brought into it. It's just, But the assumption was that it was part of a larger package. I just said that. When it became apparent that that wasn't the case, the move looked logical. When it became apparent that wasn't the case, so it wasn't part of the plan to give the Vikings the option, but maybe the Vikings did have a deal in place, or maybe they negotiated with the Patriots or the Cardinals at 4 or the Chargers at 5 and decided that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Aren't you allowed to do that in negotiations where you have the ammunition, but isn't your best leverage walking away? If you don't make the deal, then it's stupid because it's apparent it's not the case. Please. He continues. The Vikings were not able to trade up into the top 3 isn't on them. It takes 2 to tango. And they deserve credit for holding out and not trading up for McCarthy until they were 1 pick away. Hey, look at that. Not bad for the 4th worst team in the NFL. Flipping spots with the Jets and picking him at 10. But later in the first round. All right, so props for McCarthy, right? And the most important position in all of team sports, but the Vikings get lambasted because of the Turner trade, but later in the first round, the team traded a ton of value to move up from 23 to 17 for Turner. It was a very pricey trade in its own right, but if we consider the entire move from 42 to 17 and combine the 2 trades, it was an overwhelming price to pay. So basically, the Vikings moving up to 23 gave up 42. Gave up a second rounder to the Texans, and then a third and a 4. So 2, 3, 4 on top of a 2 to go up and get Dallas Turner. That's basically what he's saying. Worth it. That's all I'm saying. So again, if this is a normal quarterback, if this is a normal draft where 6 quarterbacks weren't taken in the top 12, Dallas Turner is a top 10 pick. And yes, I love me some Latu, and I love me some Jared Verse, but 21-year-old Dallas Turner, I think, has a chance to be a very special player. I think he has a chance to be a game changer, a game wrecker, and easily a consistent double-digit sack guy. And you're going to trade 2 2s, a 3 and a 4 for that? Yes, absolutely, you freaking would. Right. The Vikings assigned receiver Justin Jefferson to a massive long-term deal, as they should have. Although the $35 million average per year comes with a little sticker shock, it could have been richer. And adjusting for cap inflation, the average per year and guaranteed money at signing trailed recent deals behind blah 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 blah. I also love the signing of Grenard, who posted strong pass rush and run stop win rates over last season, especially considering that he was cheaper than Danielle Hunter. I was like, because of the analytics. Yeah, so the analytics say it's good, so it's good. And the Jefferson deal, I like they pointed out that if you adjust for cap, like it's a lower percentage amount of cap than when Tyreek signed his deal with the Dolphins or when Devonta Adams signed his deal with the Raiders. Right, so that's just the price of doing business. The Vikings made. So I don't know why Walder's been held up on this. The Vikings made an egregious error in free agency with regard to compensatory picks, according to Nick Corte of Over the Cap, who asserted that the team will lose out on a projected third-round compensatory pick for Hunter because it signed cornerback Shaq Griffin to a 1-year, $4.6 million contract. Now, Again, Walder's been taking this to the mat. Like, he's been giving the Vikings the business on this. Now, Nick Corte of Over the Cap has even said that maybe he made an error in the calculations, or since the compensatory pick formula is proprietary, like, no one actually knows what's going on. So maybe there's some changes to the formula that Over the Cap doesn't know about, even though Over the Cap is very good about that. But again, Kwesi is a spreadsheet guy. Do you think that's something that he's unsure of? And either way, like, even if they just get one, they're at least guaranteed one third-round or not guaranteed. They're projected to have one third-round compensatory pick. And maybe the Vikings don't lose out on that third with Daniil because of the Shaq Griffin signing. Maybe that third becomes a fifth or something like that. But again, just the obstinate smugness of saying, like, they made an egregious error according to this other guy who's working off of not incomplete information. But yes, but all this just, like, completely grandstanding is just ridiculous. And also, we're not even going to know if it truly happened or not until March. March 2025, we'll know if Kwesi made a mistake or not. But again, it's a spreadsheet thing. Do you think Kwesi makes mistakes with spreadsheets? Get that out of here. It's so stupid. But basically, this is the Vikings offseason in a nutshell. Extended Justin Jefferson, let Curtin Daniil walk, clearing up cap space, improved running back, swapping out Aaron Jones for Madison, improved off-ball linebacker, improved the edge rushing room, even though you let go of Daniil, improved cornerback in free agency, drafted the quarterback and edge rusher of the future. You didn't give up the future first-round pick. You are in line projected for at least one third-round pick, potentially even more. And also, you have a massive amount of cap space in 2025, and like we said, in line for at least a third-round comp pick. So you're telling me that all of that is the fourth worst offseason in the NFL? Get the fuck out of here. Like, are you absolutely kidding me? Like, it's just ridiculous, the bias that is shown against the Vikings. I mean, several other teams that had fractions of an offseason like this were just like, oh, A-. Good job, Billy. Fantastic. No, but no, this is the end of the competitive rebuild. The Vikings either have young potential or stars at all of the key positions. This is one of the youngest teams in the league. They have great leadership with O'Connell and Flores. What's not to like about this team? And what's not to like about this offseason? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN Seth Walder completely takes a shot on the Vikings offseason moves, saying that the fourth worst, the worst. It just, again, it just blows your mind, doesn't it, man? But let's know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skol, production value.